Hello. I think I'm live. I'm not sure. Let me just double check here. Um, all right. I think I'm live. If you're with me, if you've signed on yet for Sensitive and Strong, our workshop today, um, would you say hi in the comments? Say hello, say hi. Um, Let me just get everything organized here before we get started. I'll give a few minutes for people to come on. All right. Hi, Kimberly. So good to see you. Hi, Angela. Welcome. So glad you found your way. And we'll just go ahead and get started. I want to kind of respect your time. Welcome to today's workshop, Sensitive and Strong. So glad you're here. And we're going to be talking about what it means to be sensitive. And we're going to talk about the gifts of sensitivity as well as some of the challenges that we face as a sensitive. Hi, Glenn. Welcome. Oh, so fun to see you. Um, and so we're going to talk about the gifts of sensitivity. We're going to talk about some of the challenges and to give you a practice, something that you can use right away to help embrace the gift of your sensitivity because it really is a gift. And boy, does our world need it more than ever. So just some logistics. We'll probably be going for about 40 minutes, just so you're helpful for the body to know how long we're going to be together. If you have questions, you can feel free to type them in the comments. If you're watching by replay, welcome. So glad you're here. And if you are, would you do me a favor and type in hashtag replay, just so I know you were here. It's helpful for me to know. And also, you can type in your questions, your comments, and I'll be coming back and looking at them. I can respond to you later. All right. So my name is Elizabeth Hunter Diamond. I created this group, Live Your Truth, for really passionate, sensitive souls who are ready to release the past, any kind of blocks that get in the way of their being embraced, to embrace their sensitivity as part of their gifts in the world, and really to come here and do the work they came here to do, to make the difference they came here to make, whether that means being kind of an official healer in the world, or whether it means simply being a healer in your own life, in your families, in your relationships, in your workspaces. My story is that we all are healers, especially the sensitives, and so embracing your sensitivity is more important than ever, especially in our current environment. Um, Whether you identify as an empath or a highly sensitive person or a big feeler, really the label doesn't matter as much. What's important is to recognize these really profound evolutionary times. Um, our world is in transition. We're surrounded by, hey, Emily, oh, so fun to see you. We're surrounded by unrest and chaos and uncertainty. And us sensitives, we're feeling it in really profound ways more than ever before. So it's no longer a luxury to have, in my mind, energy tools to be able to manage your energy. To me, it's a necessity to be able to really thrive, survive, and and be a gift to the world. So so just checking my notes here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. What I'd like to do is, before we really dive in, thank you, Emily, you're so sweet. Let's take a moment to get present. So just settle into your chair, and if you're a multitasker like I am, maybe set aside multitasking. Let's be really, really present, fully present right here, right now. Turn off any distractions. If you happen to be driving while you're watching this, of course, do not close your eyes. Maybe come back to the meditation part later. But go ahead and close your eyes and invite your body to relax into this very moment. Take a nice deep inhale for your body. And on the exhale, would you allow your shoulders to soften, to relax a little bit, really settle in. Let's take another nice big deep breath, another big inhale, and a nice long exhale. And on the exhale, maybe soften your face a little bit, loosen your jaw, slacken your jaw a little bit. Just really settle down. And with your eyes still closed, would you come into just a natural rhythm of breathing in your body? Really allow yourself to arrive here energetically. This right here, right now. Take a moment to notice your inner landscape of sensation, thought, emotion, feeling. And notice that all of that can be happening and you can still experience stillness, kind of an inner quiet. And notice if there's anything outside of this workshop that wants your attention. Notice that you can just set that aside for now. It'll find you again. Let this time be for you to receive. There's nothing you have to do. All the demands and obligations of the modern world, they can remain outside of our little bubble that we're in as a class, and we can always address them afterwards. Good job, everybody. Would you go ahead and open your eyes? Welcome. And I'd love for you to take a moment to just reflect, like, what drew you to this workshop, Sensitive and Strong? Maybe even type in the comments if you feel inclined, like what really drew you, what's calling for you, what inspired you about Sensitive and Strong in your life and in your world these days. I imagine that what's calling you here is that you have an experience of being deeply empathic, intuitive, sensitive, and probably that's accelerating in these times. You might be experiencing overwhelm, anxiety. Sometimes that energetic overwhelm and anxiety that comes from our interpersonal relationships, connecting with my partner or someone I really care about, and then I walk away and they're still in my space, like I can't separate from them, like I'm still feeling what they're feeling, and it can get overwhelming. We walk away with their energy. We can be fatigued, sometimes experience symptoms in our bodies, or it may be just the global unrest that we're experiencing, the pandemic, civil injustice, Afghanistan, Haiti, the fires, maybe the list can go on and on. It's really an unprecedented time, and so all of the fear and the stress and anxiety, we're not used to it to the degree that we're having it now. Yeah, the title, I love that too. Sensitivity is viewed as a weakness often in our culture, for sure, Kimberly. And I really love to flip the script. To me, it's a strength. And because I know you, I know that that's one of your strengths. And I imagine for each of you who's here, it is one of your profound strengths. And when we embrace it, we can really bring it forth in our lives. So yeah, so let's go ahead and like kind of get into it. So what is a sensitive? What's a highly sensitive person, or what's an empath? And again, the labels, I'm not as much interested in it, but maybe you have an identity or a connection to a word. So what I would say is like a highly sensitive person or an empath is someone who feels the energy and emotions of people and the world around them. So feels it. So just a simple example, you walk into a room and you just sense the vibe. You already know, is it safe? Is there conflict? Should I kind of keep myself guarded, or is it safe to open up? Like you just know, and maybe you don't know how you know, you just know. You know how to you show up in a room and you just know the vibe. That's a simple example of what being sensitive is. You feel what is going on in the environment, whether it's with people or in the general environment. And so your sensitivity comes with these profound gifts: compassion, caring. Like you have a deep understanding that there's so much more going on around us than meets the naked eye, which makes you deeply compassionate. You understand what people are experiencing. You understand their pain. You understand the conflict they're experiencing. You also understand their joy. But because you have this understanding, it makes you incredibly compassionate and often non-judgmental. So you are safe for people to come and talk to. So you're an excellent listener. Um, you're intuitive, psychic. Even I would say that's the sensitives who, in my paradigm, anybody can become psychic. It's just a capacity that we decide to develop or not. But it's the sensitives who really have kind of a leg up in that direction. They're already intuitive, and it's a psychic gifts are simply to be developed. We have a profound connection to nature. Nature is both healing as well as we really feel at home in nature and get a lot of healing. We experience the harmony and the beauty of nature. We're lovers of beauty and harmony. Um, and many of us have a relationship to something greater than ourselves, whether we call it spirit, God, nature, universe. We have a sense of that there is some kind of larger order that maybe we don't fully understand, but we feel connected to it, sometimes more than others. And we love being of service. Again, because we're so in tune with there's so much going on and we want to be of service, we want to be of help. So there's incredible gifts. And their strengths, I see them as strengths. But maybe you were told early on that it was inconvenient, whether you were told outright that you were too much, you felt too much, um, you were exaggerating, you needed to grow a thicker skin. Maybe you were the truth teller in the family, and as a young child, you didn't understand. It was like, oh, I'm just saying what I'm seeing, and then that was really inconvenient for the people around you who weren't ready for that information. And so you learn to like stuff it down, hide it, deny it, really think that it was more of a handicap than anything else. Gosh, if it could only be stronger, if I could only just like navigate the world without being so kind of overcome with what's happening, what's other people are feeling. When I see a friend in distress, gosh, I wish I weren't so sensitive. I weren't feeling it too. So I wanted to dispel the myth right now that sensitivity is not the problem, it's the gift. But what I would say, and this is kind of leading into what I see as the three biggest challenges, is the first one is it's being an empath who is overly empathic, meaning we don't just feel what others feel, but we take it in, we take it on into our space. We take on into our energy system the feelings, the chaos, the unrest that we find in the world around us. So how does that happen? Maybe we're wired that way. We came into the world that way. For many of us, we had childhood experiences where we lived in environments where there was kind of chaotic. And if it was chaotic, we learned to feel, sense the world through our second chakra. And if you don't know about chakras, that's not a problem. There's no mystery to it. It's just an energy center that's located in our belly. And it has everything to do with emotion, sensing, feeling our environment. And we learn to kind of send our spidey senses out into the world from that center in our body, so that we could determine whether the environment was safe. If we lived in a chaotic environment, we wanted to know in the morning, oh, is it safe to speak up? Is it safe to be visible? If not, I'm going to hide. I'm going to maybe go to a friend's house. So we learn to really feel into the world through that energy center. It becomes a way of collecting data and information from the environment. But the problem is that when we're always open in that way, we're taking in more information than our system can really handle. When we take it in, we begin to feel it. So, and this leads to my kind of the second biggest challenge that I see is that sensitives, empaths, initially don't have really strong energetic boundaries because we're used to feeling the world through that senses and determining whether or not we're safe. We're on hyper alert, and so we allow everything or a lot to get in, and we're also in other people's spaces because we're always trying to figure out whether or not are they safe? Is it safe to talk to them today? Where are they? And so we lose our sense of ourselves. We connect with a friend, they're in distress, and we try to help them, and then we walk away from the conversation, and now we're in distress. We're feeling the anxiety, the grief, the fear, whatever it is they're feeling. They might be feeling better because you've just healed them. You've just taken on their energy. So having healthy energetic boundaries is really an important thing for sensitives and empaths. Um, so make sure, I'm checking my notes here and make sure that I'm covering everything I want to say here. So yeah, so really feeling everything, not having those healthy energetic boundaries really makes it hard for us to actually understand, know our truth. So because when other people's information is in my space and I have my information in my space, like I have a hard time differentiating, well, that's their information, that's their feelings, or that's their truth, that's their agenda, that's, I have a hard time. And so I can't really know what my truth is. And which really makes it hard to create in kind of the mass world, three-dimensional reality, because if I've got my energy and somebody else's energy, a bunch of other people's energy in my space, and then my energy is also out, dispersed out into the world, like my energy is not consolidated enough to be able to like bring into the world, bring things into form. And so creating in the earth realm makes it really challenging for empaths who don't have that sense of center and the energetic boundaries. And the third thing I would say is that I see that most sensitives experiences a lack of permission for self-care. Many of us, as I said, learned early on to sense into our environment what was safe, what was not. And we also learned to be the healers. We learned that if my mother is in distress, then I'm going to go try to heal her. Yes, to heal her, to be compassionate and supportive. I love my mother and all that, but also to make me safe, because if she's feeling healthy and healed, then I feel a lot safer in my space. And so a lot of us developed identity around being the caretaker. And we learned that having our own needs was a problem or inconvenient. We learned that um, we did actually never learn to know what needs are, and we learned that if we had needs, we were being kind of what's the word, high maintenance, right? So we learned to be low maintenance. We thought that was a good thing. And what happens is over the course of time, that might work for a while, but at some point, if we don't take care of our own needs, then we experience some kind of crisis in our life that really calls us back, to calls us into a place of, yes, we have to acknowledge our needs and own our needs. And then the next step I see for a lot of sensitives is the guilt that they experience when trying to carve out space and time for themselves. And so bouncing back and forth between, I don't have any needs, I'm a caretaker, to, oh, yes, I have needs, and then feeling guilty. So it's kind of a cycle that I see. I definitely experience it in myself sometimes. But like I said, like being an empath, being a sensitive is not the problem. It's simply that we don't have the tools to manage that sensitivity. And there really are some incredibly simple, powerful ways to manage our energy so that we can show up in the world. And fortunately, I think as the world is shifting, we're seeing that the old way is not working. The old way of being disconnected from ourselves, from each other, from the environment, of being desensitized. I think we're seeing the collapse of systems that are founded on those principles of ways of being, and that we're understanding that it is the sensitives, the sensitivity, that we all are sensitive to a degree, and that it's the sensitivity that will allow us to be more compassionate, more connected to the earth, and taking care of the earth, more connected in our relationships, and more connected to ourselves fundamentally. And so what I'm talking about really at a foundational level is energy management, becoming a master of your own energy. We were never taught early on how to do that. And wouldn't it be amazing if we started teaching children at a young age that in addition to physical fitness, we had energetic fitness, and there's surprisingly simple processes that we can all engage with to master your energy. And so just imagine being able to perceive what's going on in your environment without taking it in. Imagine being able to watch the news and know when to turn it off, and understanding, kind of having a sense of what's happening in the world without going into a deep kind of grief and depression around it, but feeling more empowered of knowing how you can show up in a way um, that contributes to healing. No, imagine being with a friend, and a friend who's in distress and who's in need, and not taking on their distress, not matching their energy, but being grounded and centered in yourself so that you can be resourceful and supportive, but not feel responsible for them. Imagine being in relationship with an intimate partner and being able to have like a clear sense of your own desires, your own wants, your own needs, and letting them have their own desires, wants, and needs, and not feel responsible for healing them, not feel responsible for taking on their own, like what they want to create, that you can be connected to yourself in the process of being connected to somebody else. So imagine just being able to say no when someone asks you to do something and it just doesn't feel right for you for whatever reason. You really don't have to have a reason, but you're able to tune in. It's like, no, and you can just say no and not feel guilty. And you can say no and even allow the other person to be disappointed, and understanding that what is healthy for you, what is supportive of your well-being, really is supportive of the well-being of all, even if somebody else is disappointed. So imagine that being kind of easy to do in your life. Imagine navigating life freer, lighter, connected to your truth, grounded, and knowing that showing up in this way is like the highest service that you can offer to the world. It's the highest service to, yes, and not apologize. And Kimberly, of course, like to stop saying, I'm sorry. No, I can't. I'm sorry. Just say, no, I can't. No, thank you. I'm not available. Maybe next time. But yeah, but imagine being able to show up in the world in this way and knowing, really knowing in your core, not knowing mentally, but really knowing, getting that showing up empowered, sensitive, and strong is the greatest way you can be of service to yourself, to your family, to your environment, um, to the global stage. So how does that sound? All right. So what I'd like to do is I want to offer an energy practice, and what I'm offering is really the way I look at energy practice, as I mentioned, it's like energetic hygiene. It's just like we have dental hygiene. We brush our teeth every morning. Like I have a energetic hygiene practice that I do every morning. That I do multiple times a day. Sometimes when it's things can get a little rough, and and so I invite you to consider that like having an energetic hygiene practice is the way to allow you to maintain your sensitivity and your strength no matter what's happening in the world around you. And I want to give you a taste of this. I'll give you like a piece of it called grounding. And you may have a grounding practice, which is awesome. And there's so many different ways you can ground. You can ground by going outside, taking your shoes off, walking in green grass, and really allow the earth to kind of neutralize any energy that might be excess energy that's in your body. But so whatever grounding practice you have, that is amazing. If you don't, I'm so glad you're here, because I'd love to show you this practice that I do every day, sometimes multiple times a day. So yeah, so grounding, what it does, it's like it helps us connect to the earth, because we are part of the earth. We are meant to be here. The earth is meant to support us, and we are meant to be part of the earth. So when we ground, we feel the connection, the stability, and the support of the earth. We're able to receive that. When we ground, it also invites our spirit, our energy nature into our body. So as I said, empaths and sensitives can get really scattered in the world with their attention and their energy, feeling things out. And when we ground, it really invites our energy to come back in, to get a little bit more consolidated, helps us anchor our spirit into our bodies. And also, we have the opportunity to actually clear specific energy. If you notice there's a particular energy that happens to be in your space, anxiety, frustration, stress, anything, we can clear it with our grounding cord. So let's go ahead and do that. Does that sound good? Are you up for that? So we're gonna take it's gonna be just a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes. So just a hello to your body. It's always helpful when we start a meditation to give your body a sense of how long you're going to be sitting there. And if you're driving, maybe come back to this part later. So let's go ahead and do that. So to start, just take a few deep breaths. It just gave you a lot of information, and there's nothing you have to do with it. You can just let it be. Again, you're in the space of receiving. Yes, please. Thanks, Glenn. So there, go ahead and take some deep belly breaths. Really connect to that part of your body, your hips, your tailbone. Allow those deep belly breaths to just expand and relax that part of your body. Settle. Go ahead and gently close your eyes. And notice that by closing your eyes, you are already in a meditation. You're already disconnecting from the input of the external world. You're turning inwards, saying hello to yourself, saying hello to your body. What an amazing meditation it is just to pause for a moment in your day and close your eyes and say hello to yourself. Go ahead and shift your awareness to your tailbone. Spot at the base of your spine. Just take a deep belly breath and inhale, and then on the exhale, release any clenching in your belly and the muscles around your tailbone, your hips, your seat. Let your belly hang out a little bit. Feel your tailbone go heavy. Maybe feel the force of gravity anchoring you into your seat. And as you sit there, would you imagine a grounding cord dropping, growing out of your tailbone? Almost as if you had a tail. It grows out of your tailbone. And there's no limit or restriction on what this grounding cord looks like. It could be a simple colored beam of light. It could look like an animal tail. You could really have fun with your imagination. It could look like a tree trunk or a waterfall or an electrical cord with a plug at the end of it. And you're going to watch or imagine or visualize that grounding cord growing and extending down through the floor of the building that you're in and tunneling all through the layers of the earth, tunneling all the way down. And this grounding cord knows what to do. Just allow it to go all the way to the center of the earth. And when it reaches the center of the earth, you allow it to connect securely there. You can imagine this in any way. If you maybe it has a plug on the end of it and it plugs right into a connection in the center of the earth. I like to imagine my grounding cord has like tendrils on the end of it, and these tendrils wrap around a big boulder at the center of the earth. But you could have an anchor on the end of your grounding cord, and it just anchors into a sea that is the center of the earth. So whatever works for you, play with that. Again, we're in kindergarten here. We're playing. There's no right or wrong. So you can just use your imagination and see what happens. So as you imagine your grounding cord connecting to the center of the earth, would you also observe what you feel in your body and in your senses? Maybe you feel heaviness in your legs, your tailbone, or maybe you have a knowing that you're grounded. Just whatever experience is appropriate. There's no right or wrong. We're just noticing what it feels like to have a grounding cord connected to the earth, the center of the earth. And just observe whatever experience you're having. Allow yourself to notice without any kind of judgment or analysis. And now I want you to check in with yourself. Is there any energy in your inner landscape that you would like to release? Maybe have a little less of. It might be stress, worry, anxiety, frustration. Whatever you notice, something you would like to release from your space. And I'd like for you to imagine creating a container for that energy that you're going to release. And I like to imagine, because we're using our imagination and we're in kindergarten, I like to imagine one of those old drive-through banking tubes. You know, you do put your check in and send it down the chute, and it would arrive on the other side, the lady in the window. So that's what I like to imagine, but it could be anything. It could be a trash bag or whatever container works for you. And I want you to imagine, watch, visualize, or just know that the energy that you're releasing is going into that container. The container knows to magnetize, pull that energy out of your space into the container. Maybe have some amusement with this, being in kindergarten and having fun with this process. And when that container is full, would you send it down your grounding cord? Just send it down the chute. Shoom, there it goes. And it's so amazing, this amazing symbiotic relationship that we have with the earth, that any energy that we release from our space, it's like we're recycling. We're sending that energy down into the recycling center. The earth knows how to neutralize that energy and transform it into pure creative energy, so that we have the cycle that we have with the earth. So allow yourself to be supported in that way, releasing any energy in your space that doesn't really work for you. Good job. And just take a moment to notice. There's no right or wrong here. Whatever you're experiencing is just fine. And now I want you to imagine, because we just released energy, we want to fill in. We want to be at choice in what we fill in our space. So imagine, again, we're in kindergarten, imagine a huge gold sun above your head. Big gold sun. And I want you to imagine, what energy would you like more of instead of what you released? So if you released anxiety, maybe you want more peace or ease or clarity or joy or love or amusement. And I want you to imagine writing that word across the gold sun. So if I'm filling my space in with peace, I'm going to write the word peace across that gold sun, and just watch, notice, imagine, or just know as that sun gets really full and plump with the energy that you're choosing. That energy multiplies and gets really big in that gold sun. And right before it bursts, I want you to pop that gold sun and let that energy stream into your crown, into the top of your head. Really filling in your head, all of your head, down your neck. Watch as that energy just cascades down through your shoulders, your arms, your hands, really filling up your chest, your heart space, your torso, saturating all of those internal vital organs. down into your hips, flooding down into your legs, through your knees and your calves and your feet. Just notice that this energy is saturating every single one of your cells and all of the spaces in between your cells. Nice job, everybody. Just take a moment to bask in this energy. Maybe notice your inner landscape. What a difference just a few minutes can make. Grounding, releasing, and then filling in, being at choice with what energy we allow into our space. So perhaps you notice that there's a little bit more quiet in your inner landscape, or maybe not, and that's totally okay. There's no right or wrong, we're just noticing. Great job. And lastly, just take a moment to maybe set an intention to be grounded throughout the rest of the day. You already have your grounding cord. It's working for you. It will clear energy that is in excess, that doesn't serve you. You don't have to specifically say, I'm going to release something through this tube, this online banking tube or banking tube. You can just say, I'm setting an intention to release any energy that is in excess that doesn't serve me, and your grounding cord knows what to do. And you can bring your attention to it from time to time throughout the day to really validate it that it's serving you, that it's supporting you, creating more stability in your energy system. Great job, everybody. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Come back into this space. Yay. Wonderful. So I would love to hear how that was for you. If you noticed anything, I would love to hear what you released. What energy did you clear out of your space? And then what energy did you fill in? If you want to type in the comments, let me know what you're clearing and what you're filling in with, and any other experience that you noticed for yourself. Love to hear how that went. So grounding is like an amazing way to begin the day. I love to take, when I am out in the world and feeling kind of the overwhelm of all of the energy, I love to take a bathroom break. I go to the bathroom, check in with myself, and I ground, really reset my energy, ground at the end of the day so that my body has a kind of a sense of grounding while I'm sleeping. OMG, my body feels lighter and brighter. Yay, Glenn. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So grounding is like, it's so simple, right? And sometimes we dismiss things for their simplicity. And I invite you to allow it to be simple. And if you are interested in going even further into energy, really great energetic hygiene, I'm teaching a class beginning September 9th. It's called Essential Energy Care for the Awakening Empath. And it's a 5-week course. We meet once a week for 90 minutes every Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. Yay, letting go of stressing and bringing in peace. Yeah, awesome. Peace is such a healing energy. Thanks for sharing, Kimberly. And so it's a 5-week series, and I will walk you through kind of go a little bit deeper in the experience of being an empath or sensitive, and then we'll be building a practice. We'll begin with grounding, and then we will build on that. And so by the end of the training, you will have a practice that you can do whenever you need to really have great energetic hygiene. So we'll talk about healthy energetic boundaries. We'll talk about how to clear other people's energy out of your space, how to call your energy back. We'll talk about being able to use the Earth's energy to cleanse our energy system, as well as connecting with the cosmic energy to cleanse our energy system. And then the very last course, last day, we will actually go into the clairvoyant tools. I will begin teaching you how to open your third eye, your sixth chakra. Everybody has the capacity to become clairvoyant, to be a clear seer. It's not what everybody is up to in this lifetime, but everybody has the capacity. I would say that sensitives are already on the path. And the clairvoyant tools in my mind are, yes, it's great to be a clairvoyant if that's what you want to do. But in my mind, the clairvoyance is a really a wonderful way of being able to perceive information without taking it into your body. So we shift perception from the second chakra, lower center of always feeling, feeling, feeling. We're able to shift into a sixth chakra from the third eye, the sixth chakra being behind your eyes, between your ears, where we're able to see from a place of greater neutrality. And that way we don't take in everything, but we have a higher spiritual perspective. And that allows us to be sensitive and strong and navigate our world and to be the healers that we are in our personal lives, in our work, and then in our kind of engaging with the rest of the world. So I will, let me just post the link in comments here. Oh, shoot, I'm not prepared for that. Give me a second. But if you have any, let's see, Glenn's saying clearing lots of old stories associated with blame and shame. Yes, blame and shame are great to release. Creativity, new beginnings, fresh beginnings. I love that. Awesome, Glenn. Thanks for sharing. So if you have any questions or comments, I'm going to just take a moment here to get the link in case you're interested in joining the Awakening Empath class. I would love to have you join. I'd love to support you in, in grounding and really becoming a master of your own energy. And I would say also, before we close, I would love for you to share, if you feel called, one aha or one takeaway that you have from this class, something that you're playing with now. Really, when we share our insights, we all get to learn together, and we all get to benefit from our shared learning. So please, hang on, here we go. Give me a second, but if you have let's see, Glenn's saying clearing store. I have too many things going on at once. Okay, I think I just posted it in the comments, but if not, I'll come back and post it again. Thank you, Angela. So glad you're here. There we go. The link is there in case you're interested. Would love to hear any takeaways that you have. I'll just give you a moment to share anything that you're noodling on or something that was a new aha for you. And I'd be delighted to support you and becoming master of your energy and really developing your capacity to be in the world both sensitive and strong. And again, thank you for joining. Please reach out anytime. I'm going to sign off now, so have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Thank you for being here. A reminder of how important it is to ground your energy. Yeah, and it doesn't take very long, right? We just need to take time. Thanks for Angela for sharing. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to sign off, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Bye.